I would say being prepared is probably number one. So having all your emergency gear, having lots of food for 10 days, lots of water, having a plan if you're out and about, knowing where your family is and that kind of stuff, I think.
The period of the time of the earthquake doesn't extend for like a long period of time. You just have to stay calm and just, relax and just we'll pass and you just, move on from there, no problem.
It's just nature, it's what it does. You've just sort of got to accept that things like that happen, and they happen all the time, everywhere.
Biggest thing is knowing what to do afterwards, just finding your family and making sure they're safe. And if you do come across you're in a bit of a pickle, then stay calm and look for help or help other people.
Well, my father, my dad was pretty, comfortable. He coped. He brought us together pretty good. So he didn't show any sign of panic. So that even gave us confidence. It was good.
When things are getting difficult, I haven't lost property or anything or family or loved ones. So I think I've been one of the lucky ones. But even if it does happen like that, just sort of deep breaths and just work your way through it.
When the earthquake happened, I had a 16-month-old and I was about 8 months pregnant with my other one. And I was lucky enough to already have a bag packed, and my mother has an emergency pack always, and she lives just down the road from me anyway. In the bag was nappies and little jars of food that would keep, and little muesli bars and snacks that'll last for a long time, and a couple of bottles of water.
The first thing we did was put the plug in the bath and use the fresh water that we had and filled the bath up with that, because we didn't have bottled water. And just having batteries and torches and just the general items, so that if you do need to get up and leave your house, like a lot of people did, you can take your important and valuable stuff with you. I think that's one of the main things, and to be able to have your family safe is one main thing. I think a lot of people are choosing to get their first aid certificates now, which is a great thing, because we never know when another one's going to hit.
Have lots of torches ready.
Yeah.
We lost power for ages. Yeah. I'm being really prepared, I guess, even without a situation, before the situation happens, just preempting the possibility of it, especially in New Zealand, Pacific Ring of Fire. It's possible.
Have all the things that you would be able to eat if you knew there weren't going to be any power, or maybe a wee gas stove or something like that.
Straight after the earthquake, we just made sure our first kit was our first aid kit was available. We've got a little box where we've got all foods that if we need to take off, we can do. Make sure your car doesn't go under half in terms of petrol. Heaps of water. Yeah, easy.
Something that I always do now is I always make sure my petrol tank is full, because the lines for the petrol stations were miles long, and a lot of times you could only pay in cash as well, and so I just make sure my tank's always topped up, and that way I've got a vehicle if I really need it.
Get to know your neighbours, because you have to help each other out and stuff. So it's always good to know them.
This might sound weird, but something that I liked about the earthquake is that most people actually became really tight-knitted and communities came together. And so don't be afraid of people, I think, at that time. Most people are out to just try and help.
Yeah, you can pretty much trust anyone in
that
situation.
Yeah, and just talking to Joe Blogg on the street, most of the time they're you've got an experience that you've shared, and so most times people are really happy to talk about it and really friendly and caring. So I think that's something I really liked about, even though it was an awful situation, everyone kind of just we help each other. Yeah.
There's always your community, there's always people around you. In terms of the big earthquakes, there was always the welfare centres. If you didn't feel safe in your home, go to neighbours, contact whoever you can. There were people donating blankets and food left, right and centre, so it really helped, cool, calm and collect, and kind of, wrap you up in a warm blanket for the night kind of thing, yeah.
And I think that community thing, and having that community and that people, not just the place you know, and the buildings and the activities is actually what's kind of kept us going, you know.
It's definitely a community feel, as in there's, you know, the gap fillers popping up left, right and centre, and it's we've become more creative with what we've got. We haven't got a lot, but I mean, you know, if you love Christchurch, you get out what you put in, so yeah.